Hello everyone, I'm Liv here, back again with another Awaken Chaos Era video. So in today's video, I'll be giving you my first impressions on the newly released heroes who are like the Halia and Dark Andre, along with, I think there's like one more who is a Jocasta and one epic hero. So let's check them out together. So let's head over to the index and let's try to search for those new heroes. Okay, the first one would be Jocasta here. So Jocasta is a legendary hero from the Crisis faction. So she has some kind of unique character animation as you just saw just now. She was like dancing and then she reveals her face after removing her mask. So basically her character design is pretty cool. She's like an Egyptian model that wields candy stuff or what? Like purple golden theme around her, and she holds like some magical set. Yeah, pretty cool. Very nice design. Alright, so let's check out her stats. So she has an S rating for health, A rating for defense and speed, and B rating for attack and critical rate. So basically, based from these stats alone, we can know that she's most probably a supporter hero. Alright, she has a very decent amount of speed, so probably she may be like the first supporter to go first in the battle, and then provide some buff to her allies. So let's check out her abilities here. So the first one is her trait, known as Sense. Attenuates all negative effects on teammates by 1 turn at the start of the round. Cooldown is 3 rounds. And upon ascending her, I think everything will be the same, just that she will receive a new effect where each surviving ally grants this character a 20% additional defense. So usually a team consists of 4 heroes, so if there are 3 allies who are still alive, then that means she has around about 60% additional defense, which makes her quite tanky. So what does attenuates mean? Is it means that it reduces the negative effect by 1 turn each time she takes her turn? But it only works for every 3 rounds, so not that great. Some kind of like limitation here. Right, so her next ability is SoulStealer. It's a basic ability that deals 110% damage to an enemy, plus true damage equal to 8% of the target's max health. However, it's a 3% if against bosses. Restores 8% of max health to a team member with the lowest health. So basically this one is similar to a mixture of abilities from other heroes who are like the Brand the Brilliant, who is able to deal true damage with his skills, and this one also has an ability from Blackhorn, but instead of healing himself, this one heals the ally that has the lowest health. So it's like 2 skills combined into one. So probably this one would be great for like Void Tower, in case if the enemy's health is pretty high. So you can use Jocasta to damage the enemy rather than using or relying on poison. So if let's say if you do not have like Gilled in your team, you can pair like Jocasta with Sentis to deal damage based on the enemy's max health to quickly wither them down. However, this one is only a 3% if against bosses. However, it's still useful because it's dealing based on their max health. And this damage is similar to a poison damage debuff. Okay, so basically this one is a damage and heal at the same time. The next ability is a special ability that has a 3 turns cooldown, known as the Benediction. Restores 30% of max health to a teammate and applies immune to the target for 2 turns. Grants teamwork defense up for 2 turns. Okay, so basically this one applies immune and defense up and replenish their health. Okay, and her ultimate ability, known as Tom Garden, it has a 5 turn cooldown, removes 1 negative effects from all team members. This one is similar to an elite hero, Mary, a light elite hero who also capable of doing this ability. And applies invincible to the target for 2 turns and heal over time for 3 turns. Invincible is removed upon taking a valid hit. So basically this one is a mixture of Blackhorn heal over time plus ability from like Elite Mary that applies the AoE invincible and also remove a negative effect. So it's like a fusion of multiple heroes in this legendary hero. Alright, so based from her skill kit, I can see that she's like a supported hero with who has a mixture of abilities from other heroes. So from this case, you can use Jocasta similar to the other heroes. Like for instance, you can use Jocasta in the arena to go first in the battle to apply this invincible buff. So whenever the enemies attack your heroes, they will deal no damage at all. And all your slow attacker heroes can take the time to take the let the enemies to move first, deal all of their damage, and then they will be able to counter attack once they reach their turn. Okay, and she's also capable to deal true damage, so this makes her useful in the PvE content. Most probably like the, what's it called? The Queen of Tides. Because Queen of Tides deals has a massive shield, then you can use this true damage to break the shield down quickly, as well as reduce her health. And then reduce the damage on your allies and also healing them at the same time. So she's a healer, she's a defense supporter, immune and healer, a lot of things combined. So probably she's a good supporter. I'll need to get her in order to fully test her abilities so that I know how good she is. But for now, based from her skills, we can use her like in arena and PvP and also PvE content. So let's check out the official guide here. So they recommend her to be equipped in Revival set and Raider set as well as Guard set. Okay, makes sense as well. Raider set, if you want to use her in a PvP to go first. Revival set is for like PvE content like the Queen of Tides, Roaring Tupa and so forth. And Guard set is for additional survivability for like arena. Rating is pretty high for this arena here. No Man's Land, Queen of Tides. Yep. Alright, so let's move on to the second hero in the list, which is, let's find the new heroes. Is it this guy? Dark Andre? Yep. Oh. Dark Andre is also known as Shark Soul Andre SSA. So he has a pretty let me check his animation again. I didn't catch it. Alright, so he's enveloped in a big water bubble and he comes out from it. And he wields a large ship anchor. Maybe he stole it from a ship or what? And he has some kind of like something shackled behind his back. Something glowing. I wonder what is this? Is it another anchor? Or some kind? So his character design is based on Andre, but more of a dark side because he's more purple team glowing. And he has a shoulder pad that has like a piranha head here on both of his shoulder here, which is pretty good, pretty cool. And his gauntlet is like some fangs of a fish, maybe the sharp teeth of fish. Yeah, pretty cool. Alright. So that's basically his character design and animation. Let's check his stats here. He has an S rating for attack, A rating for health, A rating for defense, and A rating for speed, and B rating for critical rate. So most probably he's an attacker hero. Alright, so let's check out his abilities here. So his trait is known as Teeth, ignores 30% of the target's defense, and grants a 50% chance to inflict stun to the target that cannot be resisted if the active ability is a critical strike, lasts for 1 turn. Launches a bonus attack on the enemy with the lowest health upon defeating the target. Alright. So basically, this allows him to to ignore 30% of the target's defense when he uses any of his abilities, his basic or ultimate. And he also is capable of stunning the enemy, which cannot be resisted. So basically, right, you need to build him with high amount of critical rate, like 100% critical rate and 0% focus. So once you're able to hit the enemies with critical hit, you will not need focus to land the stun. And upon ascending him, he will increase the ignore defense from 30% to 50%. That's an additional 20% ignore defense, right? So if you want to make use of his trait Tid to do additional bonus attack, you need to beat him probably a lot of attack stats, attack and critical damage. Okay, let's move on to his basic ability known as the AnchorBreak. Deals 100% damage to an enemy that scales with this character's max health. Restores 35% of max health. Wow, he has an inbuilt healing mechanic on his basic ability. That's crazy. Deals 100% damage, okay. So if you're able to build him with high amount attack, he can recover. Wait, it doesn't restore his health based on the amount of damage dealt. It just instantly recovers 35% of his max health as well. Wow. This also can mean that if you build him with low attack but high amount of health, he'll become like a bruiser. He can like tank the damage and also deal some damage as well. So it will depend on how you want to build him. Either high health or high attack. But most probably it would be high attack. Or maybe you can build him in the combination of these two, attack and health. So it'll be quite difficult for people to defeat him within like 2 hits. His second ability here, known as Scaling Strike, is a special ability that counter attacks against the negative effect by removing all negative effects, dealing 100% damage to all enemies that scales based on max health, and granting a bonus turn, triggered only 1 time per round. So if the enemies apply any negative effect, he can instantly counter attack. He can counter attack and remove the negative effect at the same time. Wow. So it's quite difficult to use heroes that applies debuff on him because he has a inbuilt mechanic to cleanse away or remove those negative effects. Which means that he's quite similar to Virgil, because Virgil, the Holy Light Virgil, is also capable of removing negative effect from himself. So is it like a opposite or a counter of Holy Light Virgil? And then he counters based on his max health. Wow, it's not his attack. So there's a possibility of building. There's 2 types of builds you can build him. Give him a high health so that he can deal damage based on his Scaling Strike, or he can build him with a high attack or hybrid attack and health so that he can make use of his healing here as well as the damage dealt from his counter attack. With this special ability, right, he'll be quite good for there's one No Man's Land dungeon that applies a lot of I think plague. I can't remember what's the name of that area. Shadow Captive. Shadow Captive applies a lot of plague, so you can use Shark Sword Andre on that area. Yeah, that would be good. I'm not sure whether he works well for Witch of the Wind or not, because Witch of the Wind applies tons of bleeding effects. Bleeding, block buff, or no positive effects. So probably he might be good there. But he doesn't have AoE attack based on these 2 skills. Let's check out his ultimate. Maybe the ultimate is an AoE attack, which might be useful for Witch of the Wind. Alright, his next ability is Gilled. His ultimate ability that has a 4-turn cooldown. Deals 150% damage to an enemy that scales with the amount of this character's max health, ignores all of the target's positive effect, and grants max health up for 2 turns. Oh, okay, that's interesting. That scales based on his character's max health. I'm not sure why they did not just change the rating for his health to S rating and attack rating as A. because the passive special ability here as well as his ultimate is skills based on his max health. So most probably if you want to deal damage, it's either build him with full high health, so he can make use of his 3 abilities, or attack. You'll need to test it out to see which one deals the most damage. Ignores all positive effects and grants max health up for 2 turns. Oh, this will increase his health even more, so that his damage on his ultimate will also deal more damage, and he will receive more healing from his basic as well. More healing from basic, more damage from counter attack, and more damage from his ultimate. Okay. Right, so based from his skill kit, most probably you want to use him against enemies who applies a lot of debuff, like a poison, bleeding, ignite, or for the PvE content like Shadow Captive that applies plague. He's quite useful there. But he's mostly a single target attacker hero. Usually for PvE content, you want you want a AoE damage dealer so you can speedrun those dungeons quickly. So most probably he's like tuned for PvP. Yeah, I think most optimized for PvP rather than PvE content. So if you have some trouble dealing against enemies with a lot of debuff, most probably you can use him in like Void Tower, Arena, Endless Trial, and so forth. But not for speedrunning dungeons. Alright, so let's check out the official guide here. Oh, they recommend Terra set and Divine set. He already has a built-in counter attack, but they also ask him to recommend Divine set. I think, right, if you keep him with Divine set, it will allow him to counter attack and also allows him to heal at the same time, which means it's like a super tanky damage dealer hero. Okay, that's interesting. Oops, I already exit here. Yeah, so most probably his use case is mostly in PvP arena. Terra set it will be good, improve his health, Divine set, and probably if you want to have his health to be consistent, most probably you want to gear him in a revival set as well. Alright, so that's basically it for Shark Soul Andre. Let's move on to the third hero that was released. I think is Halia. Where is Halia? Oh wow, Halia is in the new faction known as Visitors by Sea. So and also the new epic hero is also in this faction as well. So let's check out Halia first. Wow, Halia has the same like bubble animation like Shark Soul Andre. Alright, she looks like a mermaid with purple tip around her as well, a lot of bubbles. It's like a mixture of like human and sea creature. This is like a unicorn horn. Quite interesting design. Alright. Okay, so let's check out her stats here. She has an S rating for speed, A rating for health defense, and B rating for attack and critical rate. So most probably she's a supporter hero. Alright. The supporter hero to go first in battle and most probably to apply buff on her allies or apply debuff on the enemies. Alright, so let's check out her trait here. Her trait is known as the Water Blessing, grants a team-wide Ocean Lights for 1 turn. At the start of the turn, cooldown is 3 rounds. Ooh, okay. So now they are implementing cooldown 3 rounds to limit her trait. Same like Shark Soul Andre. What does Ocean Lights do? This unique buff that allows the hero to deal damage that scales with the speed difference between the caster and the target. So right, if there's a large gap, a large speed difference between the attacker and the defender, then they will be able to do significant amount of damage. Which means that it will be good to pair Halia with your damage dealers. If your damage dealers is quite slow, by pairing Halia with them, she will improve her their speed, and then your attacker will deal even more damage on top of the current damage. And once you ascend her, this will reduce the cooldown from 3 rounds to 2 rounds. Okay. So this one you need to test it out as well. Not sure how much is the damage increase. If it's like similar to like increased damage taken, then they will be quite powerful. Her first ability is known as the BubblePull, deals 100% damage to an enemy and grants speed up to this character and ally with the highest attack for 2 turns. Wow, that's crazy. So right, on top of the Ocean Slide that Ocean Light is only increases the damage, whereas for the BubblePull, it grants a speed up buff to the highest attacker. So it would be best to pair Halia with only one damage dealer, so that the damage dealer will gain this speed up buff, and with additional speed from Halia, your damage dealer will be able to deal significant amount of damage there. I think it's best paired with Natalia. Yeah, Natalia will be good. Natalia, Zlux, or any of your strong damage nukers. She can also probably pair with Garunel to improve her damage as well. Because Garunel ignores like 90% of the enemy defense, and with this damage scaling from using speed, she will do even more damage, which allows you to nuke down those tanky team like the one that has Mitasia, Blackhorn, Akrin, and Jonathan. Alright, that's pretty cool. Her next ability is known as Tidalic. It's a special ability that has a 3 turns cooldown, grants Ocean Lights to an ally or a bonus turn if this character has the highest speed on the field. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is a special ability that allows her to apply this Ocean Light. So she has an AoE buff Ocean Lights as well as a single target Ocean Lights ability here, which means that she'll be capable of applying this Ocean Light for the first wave and second wave if you're using Halia to speed farm dungeons that has 3 waves. That's pretty good. And if you build a Halia with the highest speed, right, then you can instantly give bonus turn to your damage dealer, so that you do not need to like go through the other supported heroes or damage dealers to speed up the run as well. So this skill alone, right, will speed up your dungeon, your speed farming dungeon run even faster. So let's say if I were to use like Halia as my supported hero, pair her with Natalia, a damage dealer, and supported by 2 of the common damage nuker for the boss like Gilled and Sentis. Probably you can use this type of team formation for like Ash Magistra to speed farm there. Ash Magistra, Queen of Tides, and Wish of the Wind, these 3. Wow, this like improves. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really good. Alright. And her ultimate ability, known as the WhirlPull, it has a 5 turns cooldown, deals 150% damage to all enemies, and applies a stack of speed up to the whole team. Inflicts a stack of speed down on all non-boss enemies if this character has the highest speed. This is even crazier. So with the lesser speed on the enemies and more speed on your allies, the speed gap, right, is even larger now, which allows the damage dealer to deal even more damage. Wow, this is so crazy. Wow. So I think this one applies speed up and speed down simultaneously, which will be good to clear the first 2 waves pretty fast. And this one will be quite useful for the arena as well. So most probably I can see her used in PvP and PvE content. So based from her skill kit, right, her skills is mostly to boost up your attacker heroes damage so that you can speedrun the dungeons, as well as to like speed farm the arena. In case you want to like save time, you want to just like nuke down the enemies quickly. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not sure how she would fare well in the like Gemini Dragon, because you can also use her for there, because she can like provide bonus turn to maybe like if you build your poisoner hero that has the highest damage, like who like Santis, then she'll be capable of applying 2 stacks of poison. One from the bonus turn from Halia, and the other one is from her turn. Oh, I think Gemini Dragon it'd be slightly different, but I wouldn't use her in Roaring Tupa, because Roaring Tupa would deal like 50% more damage to water affinity heroes. Yeah, she can be used for like the dungeon stage 12 Roaring Tupa, but not for 14, because 14 would be much more difficult and they deal more damage. If you're able to like build her like in Revival set, Terra set to boost up her health and able to tank the enemy damage, then probably you can use her there. But against wood affinity heroes, she might not be able to survive those hits from the high difficulties from the PvE content. So let's check out the hero guide here. So the Ace developers recommend her to be in Raider set. Yeah, I also agree with this. Just build her with a ton of speed to go first in the battle. And if she has the high speed, then she'll be able to apply the bonus turn. So you'll be depending on how you want to use her. Either in just arena specifically, or for PvE content. For arena, just build her in triple Raider set. Or if you want to use her in some arena and also PvE content, most probably I will build her in a Revival set and a Raider set. Yeah. I think around about 15 players already have her. You can see from here like 19 players. So many players, I think several players already have her to test her out. Alright, so let's move on to the last and final hero in this list, who is Beran. So Beran is an epic hero from Visitors of the Sea faction. She doesn't have any character animation. Let me see it again. Yep, there's no character animation for this epic. Alright, so let's check out her character design. She's wearing like a green team dress with a large crossbow. The crossbow looks like an eagle. Looks like an eagle face here with some leaf. And a lot of pointy armor here. And she keeps her arrows low below her hips here. Okay, pretty cool. Right, so let's check out her stats. So she has an S rating for attack and critical rate, B rating for health and speed, and C rating for defense. So most probably you know her as an attacker hero. Alright, so let's check out her abilities. Her first ability or trait is known as FearBow. Grants critical damage up for 1 turn at the start of the round or at the start of turn. Ability may trigger once per 2 rounds again. Wow, 2 rounds. I think I can see a pattern here where the new heroes, right, they are now limiting their traits using rounds. Previously, there are no such limitation for the previous release heroes, but now I think I can see a pattern where they're introducing this limitation here. Okay, then upon ascending her, this will grant her critical damage up and also speed up for 1 turn at the start of the turn. Ability may be triggered once per 2 rounds also. Okay, so she'll gain this buff on herself. Similar to like Natalia, where Natalia also is able to grant herself some buff. The first basic ability is known as the Double Shot, deals 100% damage to 2 enemies and grants attack up to this character for 2 turns. Okay, this is for additional damage similar to Lightwing Zachary. And her passive ability, Hunter Watcher, attacks will launch a bonus special ability strike if 4 or more enemies survive, dealing 80% damage to all enemies that scales with the number of enemies remaining. Can be triggered only once per round. Okay. Okay, this is quite bad. Because if let's say if the enemy team only have 3 enemies left, this special ability will not be triggered. Which means she is lacking one special or passive ability not being triggered at all. Unless this skill description is reworded incorrectly. It's either like if there's any enemies survive, then this skill will keep on triggering. But why would they want to apply 2 conditions here? For me, if I'm the developer, I will just like remove either this or remove this. Having 2 conditions here is like pretty limiting. Okay. Maybe they want to limit this because if the user use her in curse set, would that also proc this Hunter Watcher special ability? But there's too much limitation with this special. And her ultimate ability, known as ScatterShot, is a 4-turn skill cooldown, deals 100% damage to all enemies that scales based on the number of enemies again remaining, and ignores 30% of defense for targets of over 50% current health. So most of her, I think both of her skills, right? Her special and ultimate is scales based on the number of enemies. And this one ignores 30% of defense. So there's nothing much here. She doesn't apply any debuff. She's only like a pure damage nuker. So most probably you want to just build her with full attack, critical damage, and 0% focus. Alright, so based from her skill kit, it's just a damage nuker. She can be used for PvP, but I'm not so sure for PvE content. Unless we'll test her out, her damage, whether is it strong or not. Because with this limitation alone, I don't think she'll deal much damage. We'll need to check out and see how her damage multiplier works here. Okay, so probably I will gear her in like okay, let's check the official developer guide here. Every set rebel set. It makes sense also because her ultimate deals AoE damage, so every set will work well for her. Rebel set will also work well because if let's say if you cannot build her with high amount of damage, you can just use her as a crowd controller or stunner for like the Guild versus environment or Endless Trial or the Void Tower. Because she can perform multiple attacks from her special ability here. And this one, I think Rebel set and every set is a good choice for her as well. If you're going for Rebel set, most probably you want to build her with some focus because those, in order to land those stuns, right, you need focus stats. I'm not sure why they mentioned pairing her with Ciara. How does that work? In order for Ciara to join attack with Beran, Beran will need to deal sufficient damage to bring the enemy's health below 50%. That only will trigger Ciara's trait. So, sure why they mentioned Ciara there, because most damage nukers can also do that. Alright, so that's the end of my video on my first impression of these 4 new heroes who are Jocasta, Chakso Andre, Halia and Beran. Do let me know down in the comments below which hero would you like to summon. Personally for me, I would like to get Halia because she will help me speedrun other dungeons. And for the other 3 heroes, I'm not so sure. So if you already summoned them, do let me know down in the comments below if they perform well for you. And also let me know which area they are very good at. And if you'd like to support my work, you can head over to my Patreon channel at patreon.com/Ayumilove to be a patron there, or you can directly support me through by donating through my PayPal. If you'd like to learn more about Awaken Chaos Era, you can visit my website at ayumilove.net. And if you want to get notified of new videos as soon as they are up, hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to enable notifications. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!